All right, Coach Murphy, well, you guys are into spring practice again, got the quarterbacks and a new quarterback yet again for North Texas. So what do you guys stand?
It's been good through 10 days, but this is a process-oriented room, and this is only April 3rd. So, and I'm not really concerned with who's better on April 3rd right now. So I'm looking forward to the season, obviously, and I think we made a tremendous amount of progress with everybody in the room. So obviously Reese has played a lot of football, has a veteran presence about him, and has seen it and done it at an extremely high level and been successful. Drew's continuing to build off the progress that he made at the end of last season through that bowl game. And then obviously with Chris, I mean, we're just an incredible piece of clay we get to mold. That's a true freshman, and rolling early is just going to be light years ahead this fall because of all the extra reps he's getting this spring.
How do you approach the competition heading into the next season?
Yeah, it's been good. I think the big thing right now is getting, the new guys caught up to speed, obviously with the offense. Drew's got a lot of familiarity, got a tremendous amount of reps last fall throughout practice, one game experience, obviously through the ball, but was the entire season for the most part, right? And so got a ton of reps at practice, a ton of reps in scrimmages. And so, he's got a lot of experience in the offense, in the system, familiar linguistically with all the calls, getting guys lined up, just operations extremely clean. And so the emphasis right now is obviously getting other guys caught up to speed, right, and get them all on a level playing field. And they work their tails off to those guys. And Reese has got Chris in there, and they're spending a bunch of time on the whiteboard in the film room. So I'm excited about it for sure. Those guys are coming along.
How challenging is it to do this year after year after year like this to inflate your quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but I think these are first world problems. I mean, the reality is that we been blessed to have some really talented guys, right? And so, I think I'd rather have guys that are playing so well that are getting poached than probably the other way around. And that's just the name of the game nowadays. And so been super blessed to coach two extremely talented kids the last 2 years. Chandler Rogers, obviously phenomenal in 23, and for what Chandler Morris did in this program in such a short time, getting here in June last year. I mean, we'll just unbelievable leader, incredible person. I get choked up just thinking about all the things that he did for us, and an incredible special season for me personally. To watch him do the things that he did and going through the things that he went through previously to getting here, just really special, obviously.
What kind of presence does Reese bring in here as someone that's played a lot of football at many different levels?
Yeah, I think he's just seen a lot of ball. He's been around a lot of good coaches. He's there's not a lot of new stuff to him. The veteran presence obviously is apparent in the room, but Drew's a really confident kid too. There's not a whole lot that shakes that kid. He's been through a lot in his life, in his personal life, going through high school, the challenges that he faced. And so he's pretty unflappable. And then Chris obviously making a run that he just made last year, arguably the greatest single season in Texas high school football history from a school, the schedule that North Carolina went through. I mean, he's unflappable as well, and so it's a good room. Those are quality kids, quality young men, and we're a better university for having them here for sure.
You guys have had back-to-back, since your time here, back-to-back really incredible offensive seasons, especially in the passing game. Do you feel like there's a heightened expectation this year again with new guys in here?
Yeah, just win games, compete for championships. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So I trade every yard and every stop for more wins this year, and that's what we're going for. So, and just seeing what we're doing holistically as a team right now, with this roster's going, the progress these guys are making, tremendous, time with Coach Kagans and what he does and his staff downstairs, and what Coach Cassidy and then the new defensive staff is doing. That's all we care about this year, winning games.
What have you kind of seen from Coach Cassidy's defense? How have they kind of been able to help you guys out as a quarterback group?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you see some more 4-down stuff, some traditional shells, but they play fast, they play physical, and they play free. So that's a really good defensive staff. They've done it the last two stops, and last two places they've been. He had a lot of success at Abilene Christian. And then they get Sam Houston, flipping defenses. And so every ounce of confidence in him and his entire staff that he brought with him.
You mentioned Drew and his performance in the bowl game. How much do you feel like that performance kind of carries into this spring?
Yeah, huge, obviously. I mean, the confidence that comes with that. I mean, the tough part is that, we did lose the game, obviously, right? But when you walk off the field and you just think about, how proud you are of somebody, the things that they've gone through, and for that to be his first start in so many years, I mean, it almost feels like a folk hero story at this point, right? Like, but he's so much more than that, and he's got a super bright future. So, I mean, all three of those guys do. So,
you have a handful of new receivers. How have they kind of been able to adjust with these new quarterbacks, even if Drew was here last year?
Yeah, good. I think Coach Davis and Coach Soto do a phenomenal job. So, and it's really been the same thing the last few years. There's been a lot of turnover in the receiver room, right? And guys come in and they get coached up and they play well. So, and it goes hand in hand. So we wouldn't have the the numbers and the success that we've had at quarterback without great receivers. And so, you know, it just goes hand in hand. Those guys do a great job getting them coached up.
What's the secret sauce for this, you know, to be able to come up with a new course every single year for you guys?
Yeah, I think it just starts obviously at the top with Coach Morris. You know, he's done it. He does a great job calling plays, but it's just being process oriented, right? And the way that we go about it, our approach, our attention to detail, no stone left unturned in our preparation throughout the course of the week. And it's been good keeping a smaller quarterback room these last few years to maximize reps and one-on-one time. So development, like guys come in and actually develop in college, which I think is not necessarily the case everywhere. And so it's been super beneficial.
How did you kind of evaluate how the three quarterbacks played in the last scrimmage last night?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's not always objective, right? It's somewhat subjective based on who they're going with, the circumstance, all those things. And so really the main thing we're looking for is growth and moving the football, right? And so I think all three did some really good things, and then certainly some things to improve on. But that's any scrimmage, obviously.
Is this something you anticipate will run into the fall, making a decision on who will be your...
Yeah, I'll defer that to the head football coach who makes a lot more money than me.
Yep. Coaching, guys, get a little deeper here into spring practice. How's it go?
It's going to go on pretty good, man. We got a lot of young guys up front. We trying to, you know, first and foremost, teaching technique, also adapted to the scheme and doing all those types of things. The guys are doing a great job, man. We got a lot of youth. We also got some guys in that up there in that top tier. That's a lot of game time experience. So I'm enjoying the process with them. I know Coach Ike is enjoying the process with him, and we're having a great time with those guys up front.
Because you guys have changed this scheme around, maybe more in defense than anywhere else. That's it, the coach is doing. How are those guys adjusted to?
They doing a great job. They're taking like fish to water, you know, and we're just taking it one day at a time with them. They make their mistakes now. It's like we tell them, hey, we going to insinuate all the good things we do, and we're going to correct the negatives, and you guys are responding in a great fashion, and they all want to be coached. So we show up every day and bring our hard hat and our lunch pail, and we pour into the guys.
What have you seen from Braylon Charles so far as he enters his second year at UNT?
Oh, he's doing a great job. He's adjusting to what we want to get done up front. He's the guy, man. He's talented. He's just pushing it to make him believe he's better than what he is right now. I'm excited to see his progress. This spring has been well. He come out here, you can coach him hard, you can love him up, and he know how to respond the right way, which is great for our room. He's also showing some great leadership.
Got a lot of new pieces of defensive end front ends, transfers, young guys. You guys are redshirted. How were those guys looking heading into this year? Did they look like they can help you?
Oh yeah, that's why I say we try to get as deep as we can. I told them, hey, the days of playing 70, 80 snaps is over. We want to involve as much of our guys as we can. Do everything by committee. We tell them all the time, we're in this thing together.
And who are some of those new guys? Yeah, you, Brass, I think. Who are some of those new guys that, look like they can help you?
I mean, just those guys. I mean, it's just the whole bottom half of them as far as the youth. You got Will Smith. He's doing a good job. Zaylen, he's doing a good job. Kiwi. Those guys are adjusting to the scheme. They doing things that we want them to do. And for one thing I love about them, they play hard. They let you give you opportunity to coach, which means they're not playing heads. They pulling the triggers and when they going, and they learning what they can and cannot do, and when they can do stuff in the framework of this defense.
You've been able to go to get successful offense in the past few years. What have you kind of seen from them, and how have they kind of been able to help you guys out?
Man, I tell you what, they move that ball. It's like we tell the guys all the time, hey, when you're going against a top-tier offense and when you make mistakes, they're going to make you pay. I love the camaraderie of the team. We get out here every day and we compete against each other. And at the end of the day, it's all love. It's family. So blessed and fortunate to be a part of this organization. I think Coach Morris does a great job. I'm getting to know him as well, and the whole organization as a whole. You can tell it's family first around here, and that's a big part of the process.
When you came with Coach Cassidy, you've obviously worked with her for some time. What is Coach Cassidy like? What do you?
Oh man, everybody was asking me about Cass. As far as him being one of the youngest FBS coordinators, I just tell guys all the time, he's a football coach. He's the leader of our defense, and we emphasize what he wants emphasized, and that's just a part of the deal. He's the chief, and he got a nice crew of Indians with him to support what he want to get done and want to get accomplished out here on this football field.
Well, what makes him so effective as a defensive coordinator, you think?
I mean, he's smart. You know, if you know him, man, he was one of the more engineering major guys. So his brain, you know, works like a computer. You know, I enjoy being around him. It's fun. You know, I got an opportunity when I was a youngster in college to play for his dad in Oklahoma State University. And when I could see what I seen in his dad as an 18-year-old, 17, 19-year-old kid, I could see it off in scouting as well.
What is it that compares there? What is it?
I mean, they know the defense. They know how they want things ran. And there's no question about it. You know, we emphasize it, like I said, we emphasize the things that he won't emphasize, that we go out and implement it and make sure the guys execute. And that's what we want to do as a whole defensive unit.
You know, defensive line, especially defensive ends, have been mentioned quite a bit throughout the spring. You know, do you have any expectations for this position group going into fall camp?
Yeah, the expectation, we got the standard, you know, and everybody in that group expectations is a little bit different, you know. But our standard is our standard. So like I say, just looking forward to these guys that they get opportunities when they get out there to go contribute and play how we want them to play. You know, most importantly, have fun in the process.
Another one of those transfers I wanted to ask about was Demetri Morgan from Butler Community College. What have you kind of seen from him so far?
Oh, Meech, I love Meech. You know, Meech, he's a big old young kid and that's full of life, has always got a big smile on his face. And he's doing a great job, man. He's developing like we want him to. And at the same time, he comes out there and he works hard every day and he wants to be better every day. He's one of those kids that you can come out here and coach him real hard and expect for him to respond the way you want him to.
I mean, so we get a little deeper here into spring practice. How's it going?
I would say it's going good. I'm a perfectionist, so I think it could go better. I want everything to go right. Just more consistent, I would say, I'm looking for in my play. But as far as everything overall, I think we're pretty good, meshed pretty well.
You're coming into a more high-powered offense. You know, how have you kind of adjusted to this and getting along with some of these guys?
I love it. I mean, Morris and Davis, they do a phenomenal job play calling and scheming up stuff. And I think Davis gives us a ton of freedom at the receiver position to kind of feel out what to do to get open. And I've been loving it, way more freedom. And he's a great coach, so I like it.
Just looking back, what kind of made you want to enter the portal originally?
Well, our head coach left. Coach Casey Keeler ended up going to Temple. That was like a huge factor. And then just looking to get into a more receiver-friendly offense. We threw the ball, average at Sam Houston, but just looking for an offense that just throws around the yard consistently.
You know, you led Sam Houston in receiving yards last year. Just, what are your personal or team goals going into this one?
I would say for a team, obviously, everybody knows we're trying to be the number one offense in the country. Morris set that standard first meeting. And as a personal goal, I'm looking to get 800 yards at least. I'm looking for that. Obviously, every receiver wants 1,000 yards, but I'm looking for the 800 mark for sure.
You're working on quarterbacks with some different styles that some of them have been here for a little bit. What have you kind of seen from them, and how have you kind of gotten adjusted to some of their different play styles?
Reese and Drew have been great. I mean, they both have been like a calming voice in the huddle and on the field. They have like a sort of calmness to them. Both of them do. Drew's been just doing it for a year now, and he's still very confident. And Reese been at it for a while, and you can tell he has that confidence about him. So, I mean, their play styles are kind of similar in that aspect. They're both really confident in their ability, and I mean, they're rightfully so. So, we're getting used to that.
You're pretty confident. Well, is everybody pretty confident that you'll find one of those two guys to be able to lead you to the full game this year and achieve what you want to those two quarters?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody in the building, offense or defense, has a doubt in their mind that we have the guys for the job. They've been doing extra work at any chance they get in the film room, on the field, getting us to run extra routes after practice. And their ability speaks for themselves. And like I said, they're both very confident. We're confident in them also. So, conference championship, bowl game, all of that.
Gonna have a lot of different playmakers this year as compared to last year. Some of those guys left. You feel pretty good about just the skill position guys you have to make this offense go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just said it now, Coach Morris, just about how much talent we have just this year on this team alone. and how much expectation we have. We just got to be more consistent, meshing well, get our chemistry down. But sure, I mean, the receiver room is very stacked, whether it's from Cam, me, Landon, Wyatt, Dalton Carnes, Kyle, even some of the young guys like Barron stepping up and practicing making plays. So very stacked from top to bottom.
You're just impressed with the talent level that you guys have at receiver, running backs?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew there was going to be some talent coming in this year out of the portal, but getting with the guys and kind of seeing them face to face, I mean, it's definitely met my expectation and makes me feel good for the season to come.
You know, one of the guys in the receiver room, Miles Coleman, has been here since last year. He got some experience. What have you kind of seen from him, and how has he kind of progressed throughout spring under your house?
I mean, I forgot to mention Miles on the last question, but he's a standout player. I mean, he just made a play at the end of practice, post route, going up over top of a guy, big touchdown. I mean, he doesn't play his size. He plays very big, very quick, very agile, and he has great hands.
You know, I think I saw you were a quarterback when you started playing college. Talk about that transition going from quarterback to wide receiver and how you kind of feel at the position now going into your senior year.
At first it was a tough transition. Didn't kind of like it, but kind of got it, starting getting the feel for it as I got more reps of it. And I mean, I feel like I have an advantage in that aspect because I have a good IQ of football and kind of coverages and what the defense is trying to do on that play. And I kind of pride myself in knowing what they're going to do before the play, and that gives me a step forward. But some of the technical aspects, that's why I came here. Another big reason because of Davis and Morris and the lineage that they have, putting out great receivers. Just kind of trying to get into that mix and learn what I can get better at technically.
Coach has said that you provide a pretty big deep threat. Is that a big part of your game? Do you think you could bring that here?
For sure. One of my main, I guess, abilities is coming down with the ball. I pride myself in that when the ball's in there that I'm going to come down with it. Kind of pride myself on my hands, making strong catches, contested catches. Did it a couple times last year, and that's definitely what one of my main aspects of my game is.
You'd be able to go against some of your old teammates on defense. What have we kind of seen from them, and how have they become to help you out?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been like a weird situation, kind of. New colors, new team, the same guys I'm going up against in practice, though. So we kind of know each other moves a little bit, but it's good work. I mean, always got good work from the guys at Sam, and here, the same thing. And Coach Cassidy does a great job of scheming those plays up and make it kind of uncomfortable for the offense, but it's always been good work between my guys.
You think that chorus and Houston guys can really help this team defensively?
For sure. I mean, they have a good group of guys that were here already from last year that's still here this year, and I feel like they can just add to that aspect. They've been with Coach Cassidy for a year now, so they kind of know what he wants and what he's looking for on any specific play. And, I mean, I think it just meshes well with the guys that they have already here because guys that have been here play hard.
What part of your game have you kind of been personally focusing on improving during this spring?
Kind of like I mentioned earlier, Coach Davis has been working with me a lot just on my technique and releases, I would say, off the ball, getting separation off the ball initially, because once I get into my route, I'm kind of comfortable with getting separation and coming down with the ball. But just that initial jump off the ball, getting separation is a big deal for me because it just helps throughout the whole rest of the play.
All right, man. So you get a little deeper into spring practice here. How's it going?
Well, it's going good. From a defensive perspective, I think we're doing good. I think we're going to be more productive than last year, for sure.
What makes you think that?
Just the D-line, coming from a three-down, we had to, hold gaps. So now we could, be productive as a D-line. I think we got the D-line to do it, be more productive.
Yeah, you personally, you were here last year. How do you feel like you've kind of improved since last spring going into this spring now?
Just me personally, just being more disciplined, and just reading all my keys and trying to be the best player I could be when I step foot on the field, for sure.
You feel like you've taken on more of a leadership role just being here for a year?
Yeah, I had to. I feel like me and June, number 15, because we were starters last year, I think we had to. It was like we had to. It was the only returning starting D lineman coming back. So it was kind of like I had to. It was a had to.
Yeah, you mentioned the transition you guys are making defensively, and it's probably bigger on the defensive line than anywhere else. You just like this system and what the opportunities it presents you guys up front?
Yeah, I really like it. I think, like I said, I think we can make a lot of production as a D-line. So
I feel like we're gonna make a lot of plays in the backfield, a lot of game-changing plays, because I think that's what we needed last year. So I think that's what we're gonna do this year for sure.
The defense as a whole has a lot of new guys. How have they kind of been able to help you out, get used to the system, especially in that front seven?
No, the new guys that came in, they awesome. I think our box is great. Trey Fields came from SMU. Sam Houston. Trey Fields came from Sam Houston. And I think he's a good role player for sure. I think he's gonna be the facilitator of the defense. He's still gonna make a lot of plays, obviously. But what's the one? My dude Fisher, he gonna be good. I think we got good people that came in.
Yeah, that core guys from Sam Houston, you think they're going to help this defense improve?
Yeah, you saw the practice, it's improved. I think it has.
I mean, those guys from Sam Houston, you think they'll play key roles this year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They're gonna play key roles for sure. For sure.
With a lot of the change, do you feel like there's been a little bit of a culture shift in this defense? And, there's a few returning guys. Do you feel like there's any change in that part of the culture?
I feel like it's the same culture. We play with a grimy mentality. We're a grimy defense. We try to make plays and, try to do what we do to get off the field in three plays, So I think the culture is the same, even if not better, if not a little better, a little grimier, a little chippy. I love grimy, chippy defenses, I swear.
You were tied for team lead in sacks last year. What do you think kind of contributed to your success, and what do you need to do to kind of take your game to another level this year?
I feel like I got to keep working hard, keep just getting 1% better every day. And what helped me last year doing that was my teammates. So, I can't rush the passer by myself. It takes the whole D-line, everybody executing their jobs right for me to be in the perfect position to be able to get the sack like what happened for sure.
And, Coach Cassidy came in to run this defense. You've obviously gotten to know him. What is Coach Cassidy like? What do we need to know about him?
My coach, DC, he nice. He's a good DC. There's nothing bad.
Yeah, what makes him good? What's he like personally?
He's a good guy. He's an attack react defensive defensive coordinator, and he's just a good guy. I like his energy. If we mess up, he's still gonna be hard on us. That tough love, but he means well. He means well for sure.
Turnovers have been an emphasis in the past few years. How do you feel like this change of system kind of maybe allow y'all to create some more turnovers?
Like I said, the transitioning from a 3 down to a 4 down, being more productive and stuff, that's gonna help a lot. We winning games and stuff. It's gonna help a lot. Just to change the defensive line, really. That's it for real.
Are you guys confident that just overall you can be better as defense this year as compared to last season?
Yeah, definitely. With the calls, with the execution, displaying, and with the just everything, whole 9 yards. I feel like we're better. We're a better defense. We're making more plays out here at practice. You can see that. You can see the energy higher in this spring. You can see us flying around. We're more confident in what we're doing, in this 4 down defense. I feel like it's going to be good for sure.
Is the personnel better as well?
Personnel, definitely. It's definitely better. I think we have some better guys for sure.
And you brought in that core from Sam Houston. You mentioned a couple of those guys. Do you think that those guys just in general are going to help you guys improve?
Yeah, they definitely are. They good guys. They like to work. They grimy. I love grimy defensive players. And they execute well. They execute their job well for sure. Cool. Thanks, brother. Thank y'all.
Way to go, brother. Good job, buddy. Sam, we see a lot of Braylon Charles after 4 sack games. He's going to be great. Weird. How does it say that's Braylon Charles? Yes, Braylon Charles. Just